Be ready. Start. Taking the first question first, it is a matter of record that the lease deed dated 19/5/1977 between defendants respondent numbers 3 to 5 being owners and landlords on one hand and plaintiff as well as defendant number 1 Anup Singh being co-leases on the other hand was unregistered. 1 stop. Clause 11 of the lease deed exhibit PX, which was very basis of the suit filed by the plaintiff respondent, reads as under stop. If at any time any one of the party out of the lease leaves the premises, the same shall be handed over to the remaining party out of the lessee, and only the remaining party as lessee shall be bound to pay the rent to the lessor. Stop. It was not in dispute that the lease deed exhibit PX signed by both the landlord and the lessee required compulsory registration. Stop. It is also not in dispute that if any document, despite being compulsorily registrable, was not a registered document, the same would not be admissible in evidence. Stop. So as to overcome the serious and legal difficulty, plaintiff respondent paid 11 times penalty on this lease deed exhibit PX in compliance of the order dated 17/3/1983, whereby the plaintiff was directed to pay stamp duty and penalty. Stop. Real crux of the argument raised by learned counsel for the respondent plaintiff was that once the plaintiff had paid stamp duty and penalty, the lease deed exhibit PX would become admissible in evidence despite being an unregistered document. Stop. The argument seems to be attractive at the first blush, but on deeper consideration in the context of facts of the present case and relevant provisions of law, the arguments has been found without any force and liable to be rejected. Stop. The view taken by this court also finds support from the judgment in Deep Chand Jain's case. Stop. Having said that, this court feels no hesitation to conclude that merely by paying stamp duty and penalty under section 35 of the Stamp Act, the basic defect of non-registration of the lease deed would not stand cured. Stop. It is so said because requirement of law under section 35 of the Stamp Act on the one hand and requirements of law under section 17 of the Registration Act as well as under section 107 of the Transfer of Property Act were different and independent of each other. Stop. In view of the discussion herein above, the answer to the first substantial question of law is and has to be in the negative, stop. It is held that in spite of paying the stamp duty and penalty under section 35 of the Stamp Act, requirement of law under section 17 of the Registration Act and section 107 of the Transfer of Property Act would not automatically stand complied with, stop. Thus, the first substantial question of law is answered accordingly, stop.